The clock has just passed 7 a.m. and we're off on our one-day trip to Munich. And well, we are here in Nuremberg still. It's a one-day trip because it's way cheaper to stay up here in Nuremberg. And well, we have the return ticket, so free transport all the way down to Munich. It is going to be around 1.5 to 2.5 hour train trip, depending on which train we catch. So we are hoping on the quick train, still a regional train, and then we can start to enjoy the beautiful city of Munich. And we should have taken that one instead. But we're walking to the station because we are there in a moment, and then we can catch our train and see how it goes from there. So see you in a bit. So we have arrived here at München. Yeah, I know I haven't been filming a lot from the train, but that's because I've been working on the latest video. So yeah, time to get some work done in the train. And if we want, we can take the train over there to Prague, but we are not going to do that. We are going to be heading for the BMW Welt. Yeah, the BMW Museum. So let's head on out there and see how that is, and if there's something interesting, and if it's something you should visit. Alright, scary little thing. I have just heard that a lion is loose in Berlin. Yeah. Luckily for me, I am down in München, but it is only a couple of days ago we were in Berlin and we had a hotel fairly close to the zoo. So lucky for us, we traveled on before the lion got loose. But back to exploring München. If you've been following me so far in all my episodes, you know I can't do without coffee. So I finally got my coffee. And quick travel tip. On the station, it is impossible to get a cup of coffee. Or it's not impossible, there's just a long line. But in Munich, we just walked one street over and found a great cup of coffee. And it's actually a good cup of coffee. So yeah, don't settle for the long lines. Sometimes you just have to walk one street over and get a great cup of coffee. And now we have to walk for approximately 1 hour out to the BMW Welt because we need our step count to go up. We cannot do a day without a high step count. So we reached the BMW Museum and we are ready to go in and see the BMW Welt, see what it holds and if you should visit it. Yeah, we are out from BMW Museum and BMW Welt, and of course you should visit it. And well, I say you do get something to look at. It is great to look at all those cars. And of course now when we are out in the BMW Welt, we of course have to see the Olympic Park out here. It might be an old one, but nevertheless, let's take a closer look at what this has to offer. Fun fact, while we are walking out here in the Olympic Park here in Munich, Germany has had the Olympic Games 3 times. First one, Winter-Well, 1936 in Garmisch-Partenkirchen. Second one, 1936 again in Berlin, and this one in 1972 in Munich. So 3 times has the Olympic Games been in Germany, and well, the architecture out here is a bit ahead of its time. It's a bit ahead of 1972 compared to other 1972 buildings, and I think it's a great thing. And by the way, the tower, I have a budget option for that. So if you're into budget solutions, we'll be heading right for it. So, as you can see on this map here, it is quite a big area and we are headed for the Olympiaberg, the Olympic mountain, because it is from there you will get the cheap view, the budget view compared to the tower over there. And who doesn't like to save a buck or two on their vacation? So let's go for the budget experience and see if that's something that you should do. And just admire the view from out here. So at the top of the little hill out here, or the Olympic Mountain as it is translated into, and the view is spectacular. I have no reason to pay to get up into a tower if I can get this view for free. So it's another quick tip, get the view for free here in München, just in Munich. Just head up to the Olympic berg, the Olympic Mountain, and take a great big look at how beautiful and big this city is. Now let's head into the city and see what we can find of interesting buildings. So after a short tram ride, we come to our first budget-friendly experience here in Munich. It is the Frauenkirche, or the Ladies' Church, the Church of Our Lady, something like that. And it is free to enter. It is beautiful. It is definitely worth a tour by. And remember, as long as it's free, hey, why not visit it? It is spectacular with the high ceiling, with the beautiful artwork in there. It is such a special experience, and I do recommend that you take a trip by it and see this budget-friendly experience. And well, it's also a religious experience if you believe in this church. But let's head on and see what else Munich has to offer. Just outside the Frauenkirche, you will find this beautiful little fountain, and it's relaxing with the sound of the water hitting the water. Yeah, you know what I mean. And just take a little bit of moment, sit here and relax and enjoy the sound, and well, forget your worries just a bit. When you walk around, another of these free attractions is right here behind me, the Feldherrenhallen, or Feldherrhallen, something like that. And well, it's free. It is some statues that tells a story about München, and it's the main square. If we take a look around, there's plenty of square to walk around in, and it's actually quite a beautiful square. And it leads up to the main gate, and it leads up to a big street that takes you through all the beautiful buildings up to one of the city gates. So let's head up towards that gate and see if it's anything like a Brandenburger Tor, or if it's actually a little bit better. Just a little side note, sometimes it isn't enough to see the things in real time. Someone has to take on the goggles and don't see anything around them and just walk around with the time traveling goggles, or as we call them, a VR headset. Right off to the side of Ludwigstrasse, you find St. Ludwig's Church. This is an old, beautiful Catholic church. If you're into looking into churches, I do hardly recommend that you give it a visit. It's a great alternative to the Frauenkirche. So give it a look and enjoy it. If you're into paintings, if you're into the beautiful decor that churches can have, I am so fascinated about the construction and how they painted all the way up there. Then St. Ludwig's Church, right off Ludwigstrasse. Definitely worth a visit. And it's on the way out to the city gate, so when we get out from here, we will head towards the city gate. At the end of Ludwigstrasse, right behind me, you will find the Siegestor. Siegestor is a great three-arched monument. It is, today it's a symbol of freedom, but back when it was built and stood finished in 1852, it was, a salute to the Bavarian army. So it's quite fitting that it now stands here in the name of peace. And you should definitely come by it. It is worth standing here, looking in over the city through the arches. It is a spectacular, special sight. So another free activity you can do in Munich. Maybe my son needs to finish his video game before we move on, or maybe he's coming along. I need coffee. And now you see why I need that much coffee. So this might look like just a little scratch, but when you see the sheer amount of scratches it has up here and here, you start to realize those are bullet holes. Yeah. Clearly, fighting has been going on around here, probably during World War II, and well, you see the signs of it. And you see why it stands here for peace now. Because, well, you'll see more bullet holes. There. And I know some of it might just be damage to it, but a lot of it is bullet holes. At least that's what the local told me. So, yeah, a great stand for peace. And let's get that coffee. If you're here in Munich on a hot summer's day, why not do as the locals? Go down to the river and take a dip. Unfortunately, we are here on a one-day trip and we forgot our, well, swim trunks, bathing suits and towels. So we will not be taking a dip on this hot summer's day where it's above 30 degrees. But remember, if you're here on a hot summer's day, that's a great thing to do and it's free. Besides that, taking a stroll in the local park. It is one of the biggest parks, well, I've seen for a long while. It started out as a baroque garden, and the further you venture out, the more, well, nature-like it becomes. And once you reach a certain point, we will come to it in a moment, you will have that monument to walk towards. And you can see it throughout the entire walk from, well, up from the start of the baroque garden all the way out here. So check it out and let's venture on. So it's not a view like the other from up here, but it is a great view above the park and just up here looking out. But be aware, tourist groups tend to come up here, so your, well, moment of quietness may be a bit, well, interrupted, let's call it that. And you can also get some useful information if you just understand a little bit of German, or if it's an English tour, you're in luck because listening to me, you might know a bit of English and you might get some more out of it. But I do recommend that you walk up here, enjoy the view, and then head back towards Munich and explore some more. So at the train station, but we are not entirely finished yet because we have to go back to Nuremberg, and I have a great story to tell you. It involves a tram and something you wouldn't think was possible on a tram. So stay tuned for that. When stuck on a German train station, because we have, well, 45 minutes to the next train, what do you eat? Of course, you eat Kaiwurst. Warmly recommended. When you're in Germany, you have to try it out. But for now, I'm just going to eat it and check in with you in a moment and give you that story I have promised you. Our train towards Nuremberg should be on the steps after a delay of 50 minutes, but it's still faster than the alternative route here from Augsburg or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. Correct me in the comments if you're there. I'll be happy to know how precisely it's pronounced. But nevertheless, it looks like it's coming in a moment. It looks like a DB train. So we're looking into an hour in this train. A bit delayed, but hopefully we'll get to Nuremberg on time. I will just write it down here if we are, because I don't want to drag you through all of that. And tomorrow comes a new day. Tomorrow we'll be traveling where to, we don't know yet, but you can check it out right here. But the fun thing I want to talk to you about, it was in Munich, where, well, the bathing guest took the tram from one end to the other and then downstream through the river and then back on the tram up to the start of the river, floating down the river. So much power is there in that river. So check out that video and see you there.